moment, in our May to August catalogue, we have some of this Artisan Sketched Garden Designer Series paper. So this is what the full sheets look like. And there's some beautiful pictures with lots of flowers and things on them, like so. And then other patterns on the background might be quite black with white spots or stripes or patterns. These images, and then one of the papers, this one here, has got this cool pattern on the back. So the good thing about black and white is if you can keep it black and white, and that's great, or if you wish to color it, you can, and you can make it any color that you like. So what we're going to use today is this particular pattern, and I'm going to show you how we can coordinate it. And at the moment I'm enjoying making some colored cards, so I'm going to show you how we can use this paper, and we're going to make the different in color cards. All right, so if you're not aware, these are the 5 new in colors. We've got, hang on, I've got extra light and extra shadows. There we go, that might be better. We have, and I'm just going to try and straighten my camera a bit as well. Hydrangea Hue, Peaceful Pine, Calypso, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, and Barely Blush. So they are our 5 colors, and I'm enjoying using them in different ways. So what I'm going to do with this is we are going to sponge it, and that way you can make it any particular color that you like. So I'm going to go with Golden Glow. So I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper to put underneath. I'm going to use a blending brush, and we are going to color it. So being careful to start with, because sometimes it can be quite sort of, what's the word, splodgy, I don't know. And we are going to add color. You can add as much or as little as you like. And you can have a bit of sort of shading with some dark, some light. Well, there we go, a bit of a darker there. And color it all out. Now the size of this piece, I am going to work in centimeters. Now I ran out of time to try and convert it into inches. So if you're an inches person, I'm sorry, I will try and figure it out later and share those measurements as well. So this, if I remember correctly, is 7.5 by 11.5. I'm going to check that. I forgot to write it down. So 7.5 by 12. 7.5 by 12. Oh, that's right, because we're going to cut it into 3 even pieces. All right, so this is how we get our black and white paper colored so it's coordinating. So this is what it starts off like, and then we can blend it with whatever color we like in a blending brush, and now we've got the customized colored designer series paper or pattern paper that we like. So all you need is black and white, then ink and a blending brush, and there we go. So I'm going to show you today's card, and then I'll show you how we made it. So I have a card here in Hydrangea Hue. Okay, so you can see what I've done is made this into 3 panels, and I'm going to show you where this inspiration came from. So this is a card I had several years ago that I found that I think I made during COVID times. Okay, so it's a basic sketch, and it's got the 3 panels and a sentiment in the middle saying sending love and paper hugs, because back then, you know, sorry, there goes an ink pad or something. Back then we weren't allowed to give hugs and all that kind of thing, so paper hugs, you could send a card. So this was the layout that I had found, so I checked out my measurements. So basically you just need some designer series paper, and this is obviously colored paper, and I've put it in the background. This is 3 different patterns, and mounted it with a contrasting color and then onto a card base. I thought, let's step it up a little bit, and I wanted to add a bit of pattern in the background. So does anyone know what do you call it? What embossing folder that is? Now, I haven't been looking at the comments, so I probably should. So let me just have a look and make sure that we're going okay. Oh, that was probably my mouse that fell down. So I can't look at the comments. All right. Something strange has happened to my screen. Comments. We are live, so that is good. We're going to close that. All right. Who is here with us today? We have some of you live, so that's awesome. No comments yet. That's okay. Let me know where you're from. I appreciate you joining today. So if you are watching, just leave a comment where you are, where you're watching from. That would be awesome. All right. So I was saying that this was where the inspiration came from. Now I've stepped it up with a bit of an embossing folder in the background. And do you know what it is? I'll show you the embossing folder. This one here, always hard to see on camera. It's the Lazy Daisy. Okay, a very cool embossing folder. So when you emboss it, this is kind of the pattern that it looks like. So I kind of thought, because we've got flowers, this would go really nicely, and I've put the two together. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the process of making this card, because I've tried a couple of things, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. All right. So what I then need, and hopefully I've got it here somewhere, is my piece of white to adhere it to, which needs to be wider than that. Here it is. So this is 8 centimeters, and it's going to be longer because we've got gaps. I think 13, but let me check. Yes. So 8 by 13. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into thirds. So because it's 12 centimeters, I'm going to cut it at 4, and then 4 again, and I'm going to make 3 panels. I'm going to keep them in order. Right, we'll move this out the way. All right, so this pattern fits together like this. So you can kind of keep it in order if you wish. So it kind of joins. It'll be like that. And I've just put it on a white border. I'm sticking with the monochromatic kind of look. Now, I didn't check my glues. Are they going to work? Yes, it is. All right, so I'm going to do the 2 outside ones first, and then line up my middle one, hopefully with an even gap. Let's just push that out. So I flipped it that way. So let's do 1. So you can do this with any designer series paper. I'm showing you how to customize it so you can get the color you want by using black and white. But you can also make this card with any patterned paper. You could have a pattern going the way through, or you could do it contrasting, and I'll show you an example of that as well. All right, so that is our focal point of our card, that sort of colored piece there. Now, when you have cards, I have a question for you. Do you tend to have a card that opens like this? Kind of like the tent fold. Or do you like a card that opens this way? I don't know what we'd call it. Now, the issue with this one sometimes is sometimes they tend to fall and slip down like that. Okay, sometimes not. So when they're like this, they're more likely to stand upright. So if we call this the tent fold, because it kind of looks like a tent, I'm not quite sure what we'd call this one. Side fold, I suppose. Let me know which you tend to make when you make a landscape card. I'd be interested to know. What do you prefer? Okay, so here you can see it in the Hydrangea Hue. Here you can see it in the Peaceful Pine. Okay, so I'm going to get my card base, which is in Golden Glow. And first of all, I'm going to adhere my embossed piece, which is the Lazy Daisy Embossing Folder, which is a very cool embossing folder. So it's one of those 3D embossing folders, so slightly thicker, therefore you need the grey specialty plate. Okay, so we're going to adhere that. Now, did I bring dimensionals? That is the question. Then I'm going to put this on, with dimensionals if we have some. One hopes. I had a class this morning, so I kind of had to come racing in here and grab everything. Oh yes, we have a clean sheet of dimensionals. Doesn't have the highlighting on it, but that's okay. We do have dimensionals. So I am going to put one in every corner. Whoops, that's not quite the corner, but anyway. And maybe one in the middle. And use my Take Your Pick tool to lift up the sticky on the back. And I think I missed one. Is that? Yeah, that's off. All right, then we're going to put this on, decide which way it's going to go, like so. And then our sentiment. So I'll show you what I did, and I had a little play, and you can tell me what you think. My initial plan was to use a punch, and I used the Labeled with Love punch, which is retiring but still currently available and like half price or something, so it's an amazing deal, and I do like to use it. But I wondered, this is what it looks like. I just kind of felt, is it a bit too short for the card? Do we need something that's a little bit longer? So what do you think? Do you think the punch works? Let me know. I mean, I think it's okay, but balance-wise, I wonder if it needs to be longer. I sponged that too, so it's not white, so it's not quite so stark, but you know. Yeah, I think it's okay, but I probably like the longness of this. So if you're wondering what that's from, it is the Nestled Essential Dies. Okay, so the Nestled Essential Dies are these kind of shapes. Oh, we've got a bit of ribbon in there, saving it for later. So we've got these shapes which I've used, and I've used the second smallest, I think it was. Yeah, because it also has that stitched edge, and then you've got some banners, and you've also got some kind of squares but with, or rectangles with rounded sides. So I felt we needed something kind of longish. So I've got one of those here, and we're going to stamp our sentiment. Now I've actually used a retired stamp set, and did I bring it out with me into here is the question. Yes, I did. So it is retired, but it's a nice big thank you. That's why I used it. You can use whatever sentiments you've got in your stash. Right. Do my best to stamp it well. Now, if you're wondering which side do I stamp on, if you feel it, it's nice and smooth. Okay. If you feel this side, it's a lot rougher, that's the wrong side. So if you look at the smoother side, that is the correct side of after a die cut has been used. Now we'll have a go at hopefully putting that in the center. Slightly angled, but I think we can get away with it. Okay, how's that? Now what I've done is I've put a little bit of ribbon at each of the ends as well. So I've got, that's not the right color, but this one is. And I'm going to angle it. And we don't need a piece going across the whole way. We just need it either end. Okay, then I'm going to get a bit of tape and put some tape here and put some tape here and see how much I want to show. It might be a little bit long. I actually want it, I think, oh, I've cut it the other way. Can I? Yeah, downwards, I think. I don't know what if there's a right or wrong, but let's go with that. So stick that on, and then we'll do that end too. And that will go like that. It doesn't appear to be quite straight, so let's see if we can straighten it a bit. Oh, look at that, it's fraying a bit. I don't like that. We're going to trim it some more, because I've been fiddling it with it, and it's not so good. Okay, we'll try again. Try not to handle it too much. That looks better. And straighter, methinks. I'm going to turn that one around so it angles the other way. Don't know why, just like it. What do you think? And I'm also going to show you another idea. If you don't have these ideas, this idea is in my head, and I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try it. Okay, so I then put that on with dimensionals and put it onto my card. So I will put dimensionals on, but I'm not going to remove the backs because we're going to try an alternative, and you can tell me what you think. With the dimensionals, if you put it on the ribbon, it tends to try and lift it up. So I'm going to kind of do it half ribbon, half card. Then it's more likely to stay, and then we'd put that on like so. Now what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to make it a rectangle about the size I think I want. Now this is if you don't have a rectangle or a long enough die. So we'll make it about the same kind of length. So maybe we'll go for 10. We'll see what that looks like. And width-wise, maybe 3.5. Let's try that. So like about that. Okay. And how long does it compare to that? That's actually a similar length. I might just take a fraction off because it's, let's go for 9, just because it's more solid than that one. Okay, now this is what I'm going to try. Because I don't have a stitched shape, I'm going to use my blend, and I'm going to use a narrow tip, and I'm just going to have a practice, and I'm going to do a little dash line around it. So that's the light. This is the dark. You can tell me what you think we should do. I'm thinking dark. What do you reckon? Any comments? Or maybe the light's more subtle. Okay. So I'm going to have a go at doing this, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So just by hand, we're making our own dash line. I don't know what it's going to look like, but we can only try. Okay, halfway there. Have you ever done this? Back in the day, I would have used markers, but we don't have the markers in these colors, so we are using the stamping blends. Cool. Just frames it a bit. Right, now we're going to have a go at stamping our sentiment. Here it is. And you can tell me what you think. So this is an alternative if you don't have a die the right shape and don't really have a longish, what do you call it? Punch. Now that's darker. I'm wondering if I should have used the darker color. But anyway, so we're going to add some ribbon either side, and then we'll put that on with dimensionals. So that's a possibility if you don't have the right sized die. Okay, trying to find, here it is. So we'll do our angles again. Okay. So you don't have to have a piece going all the way across the middle because no one's going to see. So that one's going down. So let's kind of got to remember, we'll do it like that, I think. Not too bad. This is fraying slightly, so we're going to trim it again and put it back on. Perfect. They're not quite level, so we'll make that one go a fraction higher. Want to make it look like they're kind of going all the way through, even though it's not really. I think that kind of works. I'm just going to trim that slightly as well. Now these scissors are ribbon scissors. I only use them for cutting ribbon, and then they give a sharper point. Now it's too pointed. Sorry, maybe I'm being too pedantic. I don't know. That's better. Are you fussy like me? Do you like to really try and get it right? Oops, now we're angled. Yep, that looks good. All right, so we'll stick this one on and you can tell me what you think. The middle. Okay. Oh, where's my nifty tool for taking these off? Nice. I just like the longer image in the middle rather than, to me, that's a bit short. So I appreciate those that are joining us today. Hi, Karen. Thank you for being here. And others, I know several of you do email me and say that you watch, which is really cool. Maybe you don't comment during the live, but I do appreciate you watching and things. All right, so here we go. Here are some cards. Let me know what you think. So remember, this idea stemmed from our basic card here, which was just on a plain card front, 3 pieces. So basically they're 7.5 by 4 each. Because I was sponging, it was easier to sponge 1 piece and then cut. So this was 7.5 by 12 and then cut into 4 centimeter inches. And then the border piece behind is 8 centimeters by 13, allowing for those gaps. This is for an A4 standard card. And using the in colors. So I've started making some other backgrounds, but not finished the cards yet. So like I've got the Calypso Coral, and that's going to be there. I don't think, oh yeah, I've started the Blushing Bride, no, Barely Blush as well. So that is, what am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's all 5 colors. But I really like this embossing folder. All right, so there you go. So remember, if you've got some black and white paper, you can sponge it up and then make it whatever color you like. Now you could obviously do the flowers as well. This pattern wouldn't probably work quite so well because you've got flowers and leaves and you want different colors. But look at your patterned paper, and you could do it with the stripes in this. You could definitely add color to that. You could add color to this one as well. It'll definitely be slightly more black as well, but you know, you can add color to that. This one, you're not going to see color quite so much. But you could also do this one and it wouldn't be so white, and you could have a colourful background, which would be quite cool. So check out your black and white papers, and if you're really keen on these, I believe they're out of stock, but they will be getting more stock in. So just keep an eye out there. What you can do is put up an email notification, like go to the products if you're going to buy it, put in your email address, and then they'll send you a notification when it's back in stock. So that's a good way of knowing, you know, what's happening. Very cool. All right, so I hope you learnt some tips and things from today's card and enjoyed seeing the in colors. And you know, this is a great way that you can use some designer series paper with this basic design, or you can color some black and white paper to color your card. Yeah, so any questions, do let me know. If you make a card using this particular design, then get in touch with me. I'd love you to show me what you create with this card as well. All right, now, did I bring it in? I don't know if I did. I was going to show you the paper pumpkin and things. So last week, if you want to check out the recordings, I showed last week's the new paper pumpkin. I'm going to just change the camera view. The paper pumpkin for June, and I used the stamp set to make some alternative cards. So you can check out my YouTube lives and you'll see last week's video. Now we are coming, it's towards the end of June. So anytime between now and the 10th of July, you can sign up for next month's paper pumpkin. They've shared what the next 3 months are going to be like. So if you like, you can do a 3-month subscription. I can give you a heads up on next month. It's Hooray Blooms, I think it's called, or Hooray Flowers or something like that, or Hooray Birthday, I'm not sure. But it's birthday themed, and it includes flowers, and it also includes some easel cards. So that'll be cool, a slightly different fold. So be on the lookout for those if you'd like to subscribe. The information is on my blog, so you can check those out. And then there is information about the 2 months after that as well. So I will share some information, and you can download a PDF and check out those as well. So maybe you're wanting some, you know, quick, easy cards to make. Paper Pumpkin is great for that. You get a stamp set, you get an ink spot, and then you can keep using that for other creations as well, which is cool. You can make the cards just as they're designed for, or you can, you know, step it up, change them up as you please. I felt I couldn't really change the card so much in this month's one that's why I use the ink set to make some alternative cards. So there's still ways of expanding it more. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the July's one. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to, reach out to me if you've got any questions about that. But you can subscribe, and it's $56 and it'll be sent to you, and that includes shipping as well. So it's a really good deal. And remember, you've got a stamp set and ink spot after to use. And maybe it's something that you'd like to gift to someone. Maybe someone needs an activity they can do at home. They've got everything they need. The first time they subscribe, they'll get an ink, little ink block as well, and they can keep using that for their future kits. So it's a great gift for someone. It's, you know, creative, and then they can then gift on the cards and that kind of thing. So it's a good gift to give. So if you've got any questions, please reach out to me. Appreciate you joining me today. I had fun showing you these cards, and I hope you have fun with maybe making this particular sketch or this layout, and then maybe even coloring some black and white paper to the colors that you need for your card. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And if you're not on my mailing list, please sign up, and you'll get information about, you know, what's happening and exclusive tutorials and stuff. So yeah, I would love you to sign up if you haven't already. So thanks for being here today. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks. Bye.